If you know anything about gematria, you'll come to the realization that the Jesuits and the Catholic Church are the ones running the show. This includes sports, politics, current events, and the news. Oftentimes, sports, politics, and current events are tied together. Whenever there is a sports championship, there is almost always some sort of sacrifice or tragedy in the days or months leading up to the event that is related to that city or that team. This video will present the prevalence of Catholic and Jesuit symbolism in the connection between the Kennedy curse and the Dallas Stars. First, let's talk about the Kennedy family. On August 7, 1963, Patrick Bouvier Kennedy was born to President John F. Kennedy and First Lady Jackie Kennedy. This was exactly 149 years after the Jesuits came out of suppression. 149 is the 35th prime, like Catholic, and JFK was president number 35, the first Catholic president. However, Patrick's life would be short-lived as he died just 2 days later on August 9th due to infant respiratory distress disease. This was the day leaving 144 days left in the year, and Jesuit order equals 144. Tragedy struck the Kennedy family again just 3 months later on November 22nd, 1963, as John was shot and killed while in a motorcade in Dallas, Texas. JFK died 177 days after his birthday, and the Jesuit order equals 177. JFK, the 35th president, was dead at age 46. Catholic equals 35 and 46, as well as John Kennedy, and he died in Dallas, Texas, which equals 71, like Catholic. The site of his assassination is just off of Interstate 35. Kennedy curse equals 63, and both of these tragedies occurred in 1963. Less than 5 years after JFK was assassinated, his brother, Robert F. Kennedy, was assassinated during his presidential campaign. He died on 6/6 at 1:44 a.m., a tribute to his nephew's death 5 years earlier. Keep 66 in mind for later. Fast forward 26 years, JFK's wife Jackie Kennedy passed away on May 19, 1994, the 139th day of the year, the 34th prime. Keep in mind she was 34 years old when her son Patrick and husband John passed away in 1963, and the Jesuits were formed in 1534. She died in New York. Keep that in mind for later. Now, let's meet the Dallas Stars. Exactly 1 year after Patrick Kennedy passed away, Brett Hull, son of star hockey player Bobby Hull, was born. Remember, this is the day leaving 144 days left in the year, and Jesuit order equals 144. Patrick Kennedy and Brett Andrew Hull both equal 66, like Texas, and RFK's date of death. We'll come back to Brett Hull later. 2 years later, Joe Nieuwendyk was born on September 10, 1966. On June 7, 1970, Mike Modano was born. 6/7 is a very fitting birthday for a star hockey player, as hockey equals 67. Michael Modano also equals 67. Recall, 1967 was the year of the first major NHL expansion, which included the Minnesota North Stars, the team Modano was eventually drafted by. In 1993, the North Stars left Minnesota and moved south on I-35 to Dallas to become the Stars. Catholic equals 35, and in regards to 93, Jesus Christ was crucified on April 3rd, the 93rd day of the year, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Jesus is the Son of God, not to be confused with the sun in the sky, which is 93 million miles away. Dallas TX equals 93. Nazareth, Jesus' birthplace, God's Son, and crucifix all equal 93 as well. Of course, the sun is a star. Mike Modano recorded 93 points in the team's last season in Minnesota and the first season in Dallas. The Catholic University of Dallas is in nearby Irving, and the school was established in 1956. Society of Jesus equals 56. University of Dallas equals 79, just like Society of Jesus. Dallas is also home to Jesuit College Preparatory School of Dallas, established in 1942 and renamed in 69. Jesuit equals 42, and the Jesuit order equals 69. It's commonly referred to as Jesuit Dallas, which equals 191, like Society of Jesus, and 34, a tribute to the year the Jesuits were formed. On July 2, 1998, the Stars signed Brett Hull. This was fitting for the man born on the day leaving 144 days left in the year, as this date is written as 7/2. Jesuit order equals 72 and 144. Hull scored 32 goals in his first season with the Stars. They ended up winning the President's Trophy that year, their 32nd season as a franchise. If you've watched my other videos, you'll know this is symbolic because Texas Independence Day is 3/2, the state's nickname, Lone Star, equals 32, and there are 32 sun rays on the Jesuit logo, and Dallas is on the 32nd parallel north. They reached the Western Conference Finals that year, but they trailed the Colorado Avalanche 3-2. But on June 1st, they won Game 6 by a score of 4-1 to force a Game 7. Dallas equals 41, and the Jesuits were in suppression for 41 years. Then, another tragedy struck. Later that night, American Airlines Flight 1420 heading from DFW crashed upon landing at Little Rock National Airport. It's important to note that this airport is now named after Bill Clinton, who was the president at the time and is from Arkansas. He shares the same last name as the Clinton political dynasty of New York. There were 139 passengers on this flight and 145 total occupants. Remember, Jackie Kennedy died on the 139th day of the year, and Catholic equals 145. This also came on 35 date numerology, like Catholic. It crashed at 11:50 p.m., just after the Stars became 11-5 in the 1999 playoffs. We'll come back to this plane crash in a bit. The Stars won Game 7 by the identical score of 4-1 to advance to the Stanley Cup Finals, where they would face the Buffalo Sabres, a team from, you guessed it, New York. Buffalo and Dallas are the sites of the two most recent U.S. presidential assassinations, with William McKinley being assassinated in the former city in 1901. This was on the 6th of September, a date written 6/9, like the Jesuit order. This date had 35 numerology, like Catholic, and JFK was number 35. The recent, quote, assassination attempt on Donald Trump occurred a span of 63 days before McKinley's death date, and Buffalo equals 63. The Dallas Stars entered that Stanley Cup final with 63 wins on the season. In the assassination attempt of Trump, a firefighter from Buffalo Township was killed. We'll come back to Trump later. The first game of that series was a 3-2 loss. In Game 5, the Stars got their 66th win of the season to take a 3-2 series lead. That was on June 17th, like 6/17, which is the 113th prime number. Dallas equals 113. Game 6 started on June 19th, but it went to multiple overtimes and lasted into the wee hours of the morning of June 20th. This was the 171st day of the year, and Dallas Stars equals 171. In the third overtime, 34-year-old Brett Hull scored the cup-winning goal to make the overall score in the series 13-9, like 139, the 34th prime, in tribute to Jackie Kennedy. This was on 144 date numerology in tribute to Patrick and Robert Kennedy. It also had 54 date numerology, and Kennedy curse equals 144 and 54. This was also 7 weeks and 1 day before Hull's 35th birthday, like Catholic. The Stars picked up their 35th playoff win since moving to Dallas, and that was the 22nd goal of the series, and Hull wore number 22 and played in 22 games that postseason in tribute to his dad, who won the Stanley Cup at age 22. Society of Jesus equals 79, the 22nd prime. The Stars had won the Stanley Cup in their 6th season in Dallas in 6 games with the series-winning goal scored by Brett Andrew Hull, who was on a 3-year, $17 million contract in Buffalo, New York, in a game that started 3 months and 17 days after Texas Independence Day. 317 is the 66th prime. The Conn Smythe winner was Joe Nieuwendyk, who was born in 66 and was 32 years old at the time. Nieuwendyk recorded 32 points in his first season with the Stars, and his last name equals 131, 32nd prime. The game finished 13 days after Mike Modano's birthday, and Dallas equals 13. It was also 353 days before his next birthday, which is the 71st prime, like Catholic. He also scored 34 goals that regular season. The Stars won 67 times that year, including the playoffs in tribute to Modano's birthday and hockey. The Kennedy curse wasn't over, though. With their Stanley Cup title, the Stars became 35-26 in the playoffs since moving to Dallas. Remember that plane crash in Little Rock? That was on 6/1, and the Stars won the Stanley Cup in their 61st playoff game since moving to Dallas. 3 weeks and 5 days after they won the Cup, or 26 days, JFK Jr. perished in a plane crash off the coast of Martha's Vineyard. This was 4 months and 6 days before the anniversary of his dad's assassination. Speaking of plane crashes, The San Antonio Spurs won the NBA Finals that year over the New York Knicks. They were led by the Twin Towers of Tim Duncan and David Robinson. Get the joke? Remember that American Airlines crash in Little Rock? That was exactly 119 weeks before 9/11, and Little Rock National Airport equals 119. The Spurs won their championship 4-1, and San Antonio equals 41. 9/11 occurred on 41 date numerology. Both the Spurs and the Stars won their first championships in their 32nd season as a franchise over teams from New York. By the way, the Stars went 16-7 in those playoffs, and 167 is the 39th prime, like New York. There is a reason why I made this video now. The, quote, assassination attempt of presidential candidate Donald Trump is similar to the assassination of presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy, especially considering that his son, RFK Jr., is running for office. Joe Biden, president number 46, is the second Catholic president, after JFK, president number 35. Remember, Catholic equals 35 and 46. Biden's announcement that he would not run for re-election is similar to JFK being killed before his first term was up. Biden's health is deteriorating. Will he be able to stay for the rest of his term? A church just burned in Dallas on the 201st day of the year, exactly 4 months and 1 day before Biden's birthday, and 93 days before Vice President Kamala Harris's birthday. Also, look at how many playoff wins the Dallas Stars have since moving to Dallas. Do you notice something about how many they will have if they win 16 more? Next year is their 32nd season in Dallas, by the way. In regards to the Spurs, they won another championship in their 32nd season in San Antonio.